Do you dream of having your own business one day and of having a team of people who can help you with your business? Or are you currently a business owner who already has a team or who hopes to hire a team in the future? Either way, having leadership skills is going to be crucial to the long term success of your company. Hi, I'm Barika from Simply Unique Coaching, and I am here to help leaders with tips and strategies that actually work because I like to say I learned in the trenches, which I did. I have over 15 years of leadership experience. I've led over 18 teams, and I am a full time entrepreneur and have been so since 2001. And in today's video, I'm going to share with you several tips regarding what business owners need to know about leading teams. Because a lot of times with new businesses, you may not have actually had leadership training. So there are some things that you may not know that you actually need to have in place so that you are successful and that your team can run the distance and go for years to come. And make sure you stay to the end because I'm going to have a bonus tip that you need to have in place before you hire anybody. And if you have already hired people, you need to get this in place immediately to make sure that you have long-term success because without this, things are going to fall apart. So number one, you want to make sure you have a plan in place. Leadership is not one of those things where you can just kind of hope you get it or just hope that it's going to fall into place. Yeah, you might get lucky and some things may fall into place, or you may have some leadership skills from another arena that you're bringing to your workplace. But you have to actually be very intentional with leadership to have a great team, really. There are some things that you need to definitely do. So you want to have a plan in place because you don't want to just hire people and assume that they're going to know exactly what to do. Okay. So you're going to actually have to lead them and guide them into what you want them to do long term. And leadership is a skill that you're actually going to need to develop in order to attract and retain the best employees. They will come in if they think it's a solid operation and a solid company and that you're a solid leader, and they will stay if they feel like you are doing right by them as a leader and that you have their best interests at heart. So you want to make sure that you have a plan in place on what leadership is going to look like for your organization. Number two, definitely do not assume that your employees are like you. Your employees are their own person, their own individual person. They are not going to be like you. They are not going to think like you. They're not going to have the vision for your company that you have because it is your company. This is your baby. You are the capitan. You are the captain of this ship. And so you have to know where it's going, and your employees are going to come along to help you along the way. So you want to make sure that you don't make any assumptions about who they are and how they think. And don't assume that they're going to have the same care for your business as you do because it is your business. It's not their business. Now, if you build it the right way, they will feel like they have a stake in it and they're going to want to see your success or the company's success, and they will take that on as their success as well. So one thing I want to add is that the employees are only going to go as high as you. So if you are not passionate about your business, it's most likely going to be that your employees are not going to be passionate about your business as well. But if you are passionate about it, that passion can be contagious. But again, they will only rise to the same level as you. That's as high as they are going to go. They're not going to surpass you in their passion for your business. Okay. Keep that in mind. Also, you want to learn how to clearly communicate your ideas and your vision for the company because a lot of times as business owners and business leaders, we can think, I can see it in my head or I kind of have an idea, but you actually have to get it to the point where it comes from being abstract into being concrete, at least as far as your words and being able to verbalize. Now, if you have an ideal of what you want, you can kind of communicate that, but you might have to be patient as you're working with your employee to work through the kinks because sometimes leaders, especially when you're embarking upon something new, you may not have the exact verbiage and language to explain your ideas, but through time and with patience, you'll be able to get to the outcome that you desire. So make sure that if something doesn't come out the way that you hoped, check with yourself first and see, ooh, is it a communication issue on my side? Did I not clearly communicate what I'm thinking? Or do I even know what I'm thinking? Like, can I even explain it? And if not, don't get frustrated with employees if they can't deliver. You have to be clear for them to deliver clearly. Also, as a business owner, one of the things that's going to really help you out is by having open communication with your employees. So you want to encourage that innovation and that thinking and problem solving. Now, here's the thing. When you're starting off and when your employees are brand new, you have to kind of get some things kind of solidified first before they start experimenting. But you do want to have conversations about problems that come up because you know how they say two heads are better than one. So sometimes having that dialogue or having that conversation is going to actually come up and stir up some ideas that may have not come up before. So also you want to have that as your employees are working, that they are able to bring to you any problems that are occurring so that you can keep them in the back of the mind to say, well, is this something that immediately needs to be solved? or is it something that can be solved over time? And also you can get their input because they come to you with experience as well, or hopefully they do. Next, what you want to do is you want to find out what motivates your employees. Your employees are individuals. They are all different. I like to just ask, I like to get out surveys and or just ask them depending on the size of the team and find out what they like because you want to show appreciation for them, especially when they do a good job. And that is one of the key ways that you can keep good employees. Also, you want to trust employees to do their job. You want to trust them. You hired them so that you could give them responsibilities. Now, am I saying turn your company over to them day one? No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying give them tasks, see how they do, and give them feedback and correct them if needed, and then continue to give them additional tasks as they can handle it. But be careful not to overwhelm them and overload them because you want them to be a good employee. And know when you get to the point where you need to actually hire someone else or outsource a particular task. If it's too much for you and too much for your employee as far as the work capacity, that's when you may need to look at hiring an additional employee or at maybe doing some outsourcing. Now, here's something we definitely want to be careful about and we want to avoid doing as business owners. We don't want to change the goals. We don't want to change the rules and not share it with our employees. Like we may have been going in one direction and we realize that, oh, that's not the direction that we need to go in and then we need to pivot. And that's okay. That will happen sometimes because a lot of times with a brand new business, there is no blueprint, right? Or there might be a little bit of a blueprint, but you can find that something that may have worked for someone else does not work for you and your organization. So you need to make a pivot. And when that happens, that's fine, but just make sure you communicate that with employees. Also, you have to be careful because I have worked for these kind of people before. I have encountered these kind of people before. There are some people, and you have to know if this is you. There are some people who make a decision one day and then the next day they change their mind and they have a totally different decision. And so that inconsistency will frustrate employees and that will lead to a high turnover rate, which turnover rate means that you're having to hire people over and over and over again. And hiring people over and over again, that's time consuming and that's money being wasted because basically you're having to retrain people. And if they don't stay, then you're having to do it over again. So you're paying people to train them. If they don't stay long enough for you to get a return on your investment, you're like throwing money away. So don't do. But really know if you are that type of person where you make a decision, but you change your mind a lot, because a lot of times that can just really frustrate employees and it can lead to a lot of conflict. It can lead to employees shutting down and that kind of thing. You just want to be real careful about. So here's your bonus for today. So here is one of the things that you absolutely positively must have in any team, any organization. This is one of the first things that I work on. Remember, I've been leading for 15 years and I've led over 18 teams. So I have had to start teams and do this concept with different teams over and over again. You have to know for yourself as a leader, what is the culture that you want to create for the environment for your team? And you need to know that first because as you hire people, you want them to fall into the culture. So for instance, like for me, I like to have a culture of open communication and honesty, right? I like people to be responsible. So this also comes into your core values. They'll play into that. So one of the first things that I talk to people about is like, hey, with me, I'm pretty much a easy person as far as if there's a problem or if there's a mistake that's made, just share it with me and then we'll talk about it. I said, but what will cause a problem is if there's a error or a mistake that you know about and you cover it up. That's where we're going to have a problem. So don't do that. It's just better for you to come to me and tell me you made a mistake or there was a problem or something was broken or whatever. Don't let me find out something that you already know, because that's when I'll get a little annoyed, miffed, or whatever. But that's for me. This is how I am. And this is something that I communicate with the people that I work with because that's an important cultural value for me. Honesty is an important cultural value for me. So you have to figure out for you, what are your like non-negotiables? Like for me, I cannot keep a dishonest person on. I can tell you, I would not keep them around very long because if you're dishonest in one area or in something small, you're going to be dishonest to everything out. Not to say that people don't make mistakes, but it's something when it's intentional dishonesty. I don't like that. I don't like that. I don't like that. I will not tolerate that. I will not tolerate that. Let me be very, very clear. All right, get off my soapbox. Now back to you and your organization. So you have to figure out for the culture of your organization, what are your non-negotiables and what are your must-haves? And once you know that, then you can definitely have your employees come in and fall in line, because if you're not clear on that, they're going to come in with their culture. And if you don't define the culture, your employees will define it for you. So if you're currently feeling stuck as a leader, go ahead and check out my leadership mindset playlist. And I'm going to have it linked on the screen here. And if you like today's video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. And I hope that you have a great day. If you have a question, leave it in the comments. Otherwise, take care.